Shitty gaming. So today I'm gonna compare casually Sacred2 Remastered GOG version to Sacred2 Gold Edition, also GOG version. I run those both games under Linux. By the way, they run right now at the same time on my system. It's not a performance test, so that would be not ideal for that. It's really just showing, after playing the remastered version for 3 hours, I've noticed some little things. Let me turn off the stuff here. And I want to point them out. So the first thing which pops into your head, or the first noticeable thing between when I switch, this is the original. The remastered version, you can see, uses a filter. And the filter is fine. I don't complain about the filter. It's an additional visual improvement. It's not a special thing. It doesn't make the game drastically better. It's just a little tiny thing. It's the only thing I actually noticed, which makes me sad. But that's the first thing when I compare those both. At least I noticed that. But the more important thing, the thing which basically pisses me off, but I know that would be the thing anyways. So I bought this game 2 days ago. The remastered version. I only spent 11 bucks, euro in this case, on the remastered version, and the reason why I bought that, because I knew I was getting shit, is the bigger UI, and I don't want to deal with mods. So to me, the bigger UI is totally worth it because it makes the font bigger. You'll see that later, but that's the reason why I actually bought that one. But anyway, now I can compare those both titles a little bit. So what you notice in the remastered version, you can see we have here invite players. So if you have a GOG launcher or Steam, I think this is the way how you can invite other players, how you can play in co-op with other people, either using Steam or GOG. I run those games on Linux, so I don't have GOG or Steam installed right now. Even Steam I don't even have right now. Anyway, so that means it doesn't have, well, let's compare that. I mean, that's what it's for, this video, I mean. So this is the original, and you can see in the original game still offers multiplayer. You can still grab that one, and you have here LAN. So basically you can still play this game if you have 2 copies of that and 2 computers forever with a buddy, in theory, you know. And that is something, to me, very important. It really pisses me off that this is a habit, that they just get rid of LAN or disable LAN. Okay, fair enough. In the remastered version, you kind of have to reckon with that. Okay, but this also happens when I buy older games on GOG, like what's the game? What's the name of the stupid game? It's a good game. Dungeon Siege 2. Dungeon Siege 2 has no LAN. By the way, Baldur's Gate 3 actually offered LAN. They actually served LAN to the players, and you can see it is still a thing. So otherwise they wouldn't implemented that, right? So to me it's just sad to see, because LAN is under your control. If a game has LAN, you can always play that with a buddy or by yourself with 2 computers, whatever, in theory, you know, in co-op forever. You know, that's why LAN is so great. You can even create a fake LAN environment, and then you can play that through the internet with your buddies. Anyway, so it bothers me a lot, but let's move on, because there's more to say. This is the first most important thing. But while we are at this anyways, so when I go into the original game of Sacred2 Gold Edition GOG version and I click on LAN, it basically, when we create a lobby, let's create a little LAN game. There is a reason for that. I'm gonna create a game, and then I'm gonna name the game Lucas, and the password 1234, and yes, I'm a Polish guy. And yeah. Okay. So when we create that, we can choose between campaign or free play. It's funny, because I saw a video before I bought the remastered version. They priced free play as being a special thing, but it was always available. So when we go into free play, I can basically create a lobby, and then we can play. Yeah, you create your own server, and in theory somebody could join me now, and we would basically just, you know, walk around and do some little side quests here and there. So it always has been a thing. Maybe, to be fair, I don't have checked on, maybe they really worked with the free play game. Maybe they put some effort into that and added some quests or something. I do not know. Maybe they completely reworked the free to play, almost said, the free game. I do not think so, to be honest. But that's, you know, what it is so far. This is the free game. That's when I saved that. I did this a little bit too early because I wanted to show you the we're gonna have to start it again. Multiplayer, let's do it again because it's fun. So enter lobby and now create the game. 1, 2, campaign, free play. It's important because the starting point is important. While we are loading, I'm gonna point out the next thing, which I'm gonna compare in a second. So now please pay attention to the map, and while I open the map, pay attention to that. So when I press the M key, you can see, pay attention how the map is gonna be opened. It's gonna be opened using an alpha channel, basically, and some noise around it. Basically gives the impression that the map is basically like a flame appearing. The transition is very smooth, right? This is important because we're gonna do the same thing now in the remastered version. So let me jump into the remastered. Remastered here, and here single player. By the way, if you want to know how to get into free play mode in the remastered version, you basically have to start a normal game, then you jump out after starting the normal game, and then here you can switch from campaign to free play. By the way, I was also tricked. I thought free play is a new thing because I forgot that you know, you can start it in LAN. I forget things about games too. So basically this is how you start free play, and when we load free play, then you will notice that the starting position is exactly the same. So when I press the M key, and now pay attention how the map transition is being done in the improved version. This is the transition. You see that? You see, it's just black. They forgot. You know, this is a little mistake, but basically there is no alpha channel happening here. So we don't have a smooth transition. We have a rough map opening, and instead of being transparent, we have a black background, and that's something I've noticed. Okay, this is the starting position in here, and when I go to the normal version, then this is where we are. So the free play game is basically the LAN, which is not there anymore, and so that's it is sad. It doesn't make me sad because the original version still works. So that's good. And again, to me, the font plays a huge role. Let's go to that. So the problem with the original game, in my opinion, it's the only problem besides some bugs I encountered. I actually played this game over a year ago. I had a good time with it. I'm not good at those games. I never know what I'm doing. I just enjoy them. But when I press open up the inventory, for example, you can see everything is super tiny, and I think this has to do with the resolution, and that's the reason why I spent €11, not more than that. It's actually not even worth that amount because I think you can mod that as well, but I don't know, I don't want to deal with mods. I learned Linux, now I play games on Linux and feel very comfortable, but I don't want to deal with modding right now. I have other things to do. So it's a personal choice, but in theory I think you could get a bigger font and stuff like this with some Nexus mods, right? Which I would recommend because it's very, very lazy. Okay, so the font is very tiny and so on, but pay attention also to when I hover with the mouse over my portrait here, over my character, which is on the upper left hand side. It's also important. You can see the elf, that are my high elf. You can see the hit points, and you can see required for the next level. I can see that I need 160 XP for the next level to reach, and when I press the, I don't know which key it is actually, when I press open up my inventory, then I get more details when I hover in here. So for example, hit points, then hit point regeneration. I should also get see some stats about experience points and require how many experience points I have and how many I need more. I don't find this in the other option, the other game. That's one thing. Another thing I've noticed, when we here rotate the camera, and I press the Y or Z key, I do not know, I'm from German, we have those keys swapped, either Y or Z, I can reset the camera, which is important, the minimap here, right? You see that? How it resets it to the north is now north. And also, when I press the tab key, you see the smooth transition here? How smooth that is? Now let's switch to the remastered version. And let's do the same thing. I'm hovering with the mouse over this icon here, nothing is being shown. There is no pop-up, there's no information when I get my next level. There is, when I press the I key, we get some stats here, but I don't really get those things. We gotta go into this in a second, but there are some stats over here just in case. So this, by the way, this is also the, I don't wanna be negative. I wanna be positive. So let's say something positive. I really like how they fuck the player. Is this positive enough? So now listen, I'm joking here. Why it pisses me off to a certain degree, or you know, I cannot really be pissed because I knew what I was getting. I'm not the first one. It's very easy to bash on a game when it's already received below expectations. So I'm not here for that. I really do appreciate the dark theme. It looks very appealing to me. I appreciate the bigger font because I have to take care of my eyes. So that's the reason, again, why I bought this game for this price. To me, that's worth it, just for the bigger font, okay? And the dark theme is great. But everything else is being done just very lazy. So there is comparison with the old. When you press the Alt key, you can compare, but there is no calculation. It's the same method like in the original. When I go into the original one here, I open up the compare. So here's a shield, there's a shield already, because I played with that a little bit, I guess. So I mean, I grabbed the shield. We have two shields basically. Here's a shield. This is how the game handles it. Come on, take the shield. Here's the shield. So, and when I press the Alt key, not the tab, sorry. When I press the Alt key, you can see I can compare that, like in the remastered version. But I still have to compare it to my, myself, or I can just pay attention to what happens over there. Maybe those numbers change with armor. Let's do that. Let's just do that. See? It's updating the numbers. And the same method applies in the remastered version. If I do, basically, this is a good comparison. Let me close that here. Here, this one will update. This is the penalty. When you wear the wrong kind of armor, then you will suffer, your cooldowns will suffer. You will take longer to cast fireballs and stuff like this when you wear the wrong clothes, which is cool. So pay attention to the penalty. See, this is how it upgrades. So my question on to you is, I tried that one. I already skilled some. I don't know what this is for, because this one doesn't update. So when we say here we have regeneration time, minus 7.6, that should actually upgrade, I thought, when I wear this one here. But it doesn't. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's for the attribute points when I put skill points. But I tried that. I put some points into here. That should decrease the regeneration time, or this one here, right? And when I go back, I did this right now. Go back to the inventory. Open up this one here again, and I can see regeneration time still doesn't change. I do not know what this is for. If this is just purely based on the level of the character, I think that's what it's for, whenever I have a level up. But I mean, I would appreciate if there would be like maybe another stats with the armor, a plus minus calculation, something like that. But it's not done. But okay, next thing is very super tedious. So first of all, when I rotate the camera here, there is no button. I pressed all the buttons to reset the camera. It doesn't work. Funny enough, if you use the controller, this is a plus for the remastered. Not sure if this, maybe the original had that too already. No, I do not know, maybe, but not by default, like so. Now I'm using the controller, and when I rotate the camera and press the controller button, the camera controller stick, then it resets. So the function is implemented, but not obvious here. There are also, you can change in the remastered version, that might be crucial for you to know, some colors in the options. So you have a filter, you can adjust the filter, like here, basically it's gray. This is good. I'm not complaining about it. It's lazy, sure. it's a nice feature. I would like to have, but it's good that it's here. It just, because it's the only visual impressive thing which I've noticed, it points out drastically how little they added into the thing. Visually wise, I don't notice better textures. Sometimes I think there might be a little bit better texture, but I would need a comparison video next to each other, which I'm not gonna do because it's stupid. I hate those videos. Are not that people make those videos, but if I have to have, if I need a comparison video to notice the visual improvements, if I need that without noticing a change, then it's already a sign that this is not a good remastered. A great example is Neverwinter Nights 2. I checked out a video a year ago about Neverwinter Nights 2 Remastered, or whatever they call that, and I couldn't tell the difference even watching the video. How stupid is that? That you have, you know what I mean. So I don't see visual improvements very much, but sometimes I think some things look maybe a little bit better, but it's so little that you cannot tell. You cannot tell. It's not like Tomb Raider or something like, right? So that's really bad. So the only visual improvement is the bigger, larger UI, and the dark theme I really like. They did a good job on the dark theme. But when I hover with the mouse over this icon, nothing happens. The minimap doesn't reset, and when I open up the local map, or the bigger minimap, whatever you want to call that, you can see the transition, how rough it is. I like it during the fight better, I gotta admit that though. That's cool during the fight, but I don't think that they have done that on purpose, which brings me to the next thing. Now, here are little pop-ups. So there is a little pop-up happening, which is good. I like that. Here are also pop-ups. Here also, but look how, this doesn't make any freaking sense to me. Those are my passive skills. And those are my active skills, which when I cast a firewall, I need to know when the cooldown is finished so that I can cast it again, right? But I also want to keep an eye on my character's health. You get that, right? I mean, whoop, 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 whoop. I mean, that's just not a good thing whatsoever. If you prefer that, fine, but why not giving the player a choice to customize your interface? Doesn't make sense, This is just a very, this is not thought through. Also, when you have an NPC, which this is my last favorite quest in those kind of games, NPCs you have to protect. And now you have to, in order to protect an NPC, you have to watch their health bar. The health bar appears on the right side, so the NPC is somewhere over here, while my health is over there. And let me just say that once, I got eye floaters, that's the reason why I care about my eyes more. And the game, it's not the game's fault, but I'm just saying, that's stupid. That is really stupid. But besides from eye health, let's just, if you have a wider screen, how do you do that? You shake your head like, watching a tennis game or something. You can tell they haven't play tested that. Again, this one is crucial. The transitioning is this is just a miss. And they could easily fix that. I also I watched some reviews back then. I don't think I've noticed anyone talking about that. Maybe, I mean, it's a while ago, so my memory is tricky, but I don't think anyone pointed that out. The transitioning with the map, to me, that's just, look at how nice this is. How is the original version, the visual better version when it comes to the map? That's something I want to see in other games. This is just a great transitioning. That's an artistic style, which has now an inferior, stupid, dull, it's almost like an indie game, where you can be forgiving with people, but this is a remastered, resold product. Okay, anyway, let's not bash too much on it. I still enjoy the game. Maybe even the shadow, when I look at the shadow, but also this has a bit bigger, maybe I should turn on the overall graphics setting. Shall we do that? Just to yeah? Okay, you say yes. Okay, let's do that. Let's just jump into options. Just to save, we have to do this in the main menu. Zip. I didn't do anything. So options. graphic. Cost very high. Yeah, see, there's even an improvement here. Water, what is that? Fuck VSync, I never use that anyways. Camera correction. Camera correction, we even have a little bit of, not much, but a little bit, you know. Wait, there is UI scaling. Yeah, I know. I forgot about it, that this exists, but I'm sure that I tried that back in the day. At least I think so. Maybe I never did. But this, I don't think so. But let's check this out. What does it do when I disable that? Is it getting bigger? Then if this is getting bigger, then I'm really shocked. That's what she said. Let's see. Is this bigger? Looks bigger, right? Yeah, I'm an idiot. But how much bigger? How much bigger is it? Did I always miss that? Either I'm always missed. Let's see. I remember now. I'm really, man. That was. Yeah, that's already bigger. I think. I think it's better, right? Let's open that. Yeah, it is bigger. It looks much cleaner, man. I don't no. I think I. Okay. Now I remember. So first of all, how much do I record? 20 minutes. It's okay. So good that I improved those options. Otherwise, you could be hard on me, or you know, making me aware of that. But it's still. I think back then I still tried because it, even with my eyes were completely fine back then. It was still too tiny. Those kind of things are still very, very tiny. But the phone is already bigger. So it's already... Man. Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about this. Not completely. I think I did this back then too. But it's still kind of tiny, you know. And depending on the resolution, it gets tinier. I think so at least. But that's to me still an improvement. Even though this one here, you know, it's just bigger. I mean, we can agree on that, even if that setting, but it's still bigger, so that's still an improvement. And I like the theme, so it's cleaner, it looks nicer, but it's not more convenient, that's for sure. So let me just summarize everything. So we can use in the remastered version the controller. Maybe we could do that in the other version too. Let me just try that in the normal edition. Maybe there's an option for controller before, because I start to kind of doubt. Can we actually change those settings? Yeah, we could change them. But I don't see a controller setting, so this might be a new thing. What does Quickcast actually do? I never know what it's doing. Like I said, I'm not good at those games. I like them, but I'm not good at this. Let me jump into the main menu. And there should be an interruption in a second coming up for the ICE. So I'm not joking. I do this since I think 3 months or 4 months. With interruption every 20 minutes. Also good for silence, you know. Yeah. Anyway, in the remastered version, definitely a nice transition. As soon as you touch your controller, it affects the controller, it gets aroused, and you can use the controller. It actually behaves very well, it's fun. Kinda. I'm not a controller guy. But yeah, it works, and you can even reset the camera, which is weird. You can do this with the controller, but not with the keyboard and mouse. Those little details can only you can only notice while playing that. So there's no way that someone who actually cared has played that, or there might be someone who cared about this, but his voice wasn't loud enough, strong enough, or influential enough, whatever. So poor him or her, I would say. Now, anyway, so camera thing, you cannot, if you don't have a controller, you cannot reset the camera. That's one thing. The map, this transition is very harsh. The map transition in general is the alpha layer, the alpha information of the map is basically gone. So we have just a boring. First you have a black screen, and then you have. That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Visually, they didn't improve, and there is no LAN anymore, which they took out. and I watched a video on YouTube, just let me say that again, where someone praised the free play game, which was already, it's still a part of the original. About bug fixes, I do not know. What I can tell you is that I played Sacred2 a year ago, the Gold Edition, not the vanilla version, and I had to stop the game because I encountered during the boss fight, a dragon boss fight, so many crashes that I stopped playing because I didn't want to deal with that anymore. I kept crashing and crashing. Maybe this is now fixed. That would be nice, but yeah. If you're good with modding, I would say go to Nexus mods and use those kind of things, and you can still play that with your friends, also bug fixes and so on. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. To me, it's worth it because I really, the positive things, I really like the dark theme AI. That's very good for me. I got eye floaters, by the way. That's why everything dark is good for me. I have a great excuse to get this game, but I actually, to be honest, I shouldn't. You know, you should actually, when you see stuff like this happening, do not spend money on that whatsoever. Sure, I also say things and then I do another thing because sometimes you're just too weak. But what I also say is you don't have to be like 100% black and white, buying less of a product, meaning don't buy microtransactions, buy it in a sale, is also making a statement. It's not, you know, the best, the strongest one, but it's also contributing. And that's certainly a thing I do. I'm not spending the full price money. And boy, would I've been disappointed. From now on, every remastered has to be reviewed first before buying. Also, GOG games, even older games, have to be reviewed because so many games lack the LAN. It's sad to see. GOG is a great place to buy. It's a good place to buy, but they need to take this more seriously because I assume people are getting more and more pissed, and it already affects me. So when I see on GOG a game release, an older game, I check, is the LAN? I Google it. Is the LAN still in the game? I look for that, and depending on that, it influences my choice of buying the game right now, or I wait for a sale or anything like that. Again, not a black and white complete resistance, but definitely it affects me, and it affects also the cells, you know. But yeah, and okay. However, let's talk quickly about the game. Definitely a great game. What I like about this one, despite the fact that I'm never getting those kind of games, I'm not good at them. I just casually play. I find root and I equip my character. I'm happy with that. That's all I care about. It's a very relaxing game. Sacred2 is so relaxing and beautiful. It's beautiful to walk around with. And that's why I like the filter system, because you can get rid of the saturation easier. You can change the gamma, the shadows. It's cool. You can also turn on some blurriness or turn them off when they occur too much. That's all fine. I like that. So you can really just walk around. It's a little bit clunky, but with animation, and it also has physics, you know, which is really funny for an old game. And it just plays so it's just compared to Diablo 2 or Diablo, yeah, it's just a little bit slower. So you can just, you know, listen to a podcast or something and then play that, or, you know, even an ASMR video you can watch and then play that. It's very relaxing. I really like that one. It's so easy, but I'm never really played through the whole game, I think. I've never really done that. Yeah, anyway. That's it. That's my comparison video. By the way, I want to show you this one. This is how I'm gonna record a session just because I want to show you my overlay. That's all, you know, because it fits so well into here. I made it for a different game, but it also fits into this guy here. Huh? Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. The Colosseum. That's it. I didn't notice more. I only played that for 3 hours, I think. A little bit more running the game in the background, but we can check out the stats here a little bit. Does it say anything about playtime? Not in here. One thing I also like, I think I didn't see that. Maybe it also, I remember that I was able to check the in the original version. Single player. Here you can see the time. In the original version, also when you killed some opponents, it was listed in a book, I think, but I couldn't find it anymore. I was thinking it's when you killed an opponent, there was a log about you know, about opponents you killed. I still believe that's true, but I cannot find it anymore. Does you see those little animations here? Little hand. It's like those. The other things also have animations, but they have animations which do not make any sense. You know. I mean, this little hand makes kind of sense. You know, you touching it, you touching it, you touching it, and here. Ah, this makes less sense. But okay, maybe only the hand. And you have here north. Look at this. You have a compass. You have a compass. Also a thing you miss. Right? And then you press, where am I? You press the Z or Y, and then it resets the compass to north. And when I switch to the other one, here in the modern stuff, you don't even have a compass. You have one here, sure, but you know, isn't that not sad? And again, active skills over there, character over here. I mean, what a disappointment, eh? I mean, again, it's easy to bash on something which already is agreed on that it's a lazy thing, but to me, I just want to I wanted to point out the things I've noticed after playing it for 3 hours. And the biggest advantage is the bigger, darker theme. That's the only thing. And hopefully, less bugs, but I cannot talk about this, so I have to see, I have to play more. Okay, that's it, bye bye.